Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby. Oh. What did you do before?
New extended intro?
Skirt, 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 skirt.
Is that Valiant Rocket?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
skirt, skirt?
Bobby, cool daddy.
Not as good.
Slick breeze.
It's like MC Cool Daddy Slick Breeze.
Like Michael Buffer.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, did you get your own theme music for today?
No, I didn't.
I didn't
did
get
I get
to
my-
yet.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
we're not there yet.
Oh, sorry.
Here's your. Okay, hold on. I'll pick a theme. music.
Okay,
Oh
now
my
I'll
gosh.
pick one.
Oh, this is promising now.
Oh,
Okay, you
man.
ready? This is Eric McCabe's theme music. Hold on.
Let's go. Let's go.
It is.
That's a good choice.
It's not
It's
bad.
Eric's favorite band.
Is Coldplay really your favorite band?
No,
I was going to say, surely not.
absolutely not.
I hate Coldplay.
I don't hate Coldplay.
No, he don't hate.
I just make fun of Bobby
Right.
because he
Loves
thinks
Coldplay.
is the best band
Yeah.
of all time.
I didn't say it was the best band.
You pretty much do every
I
day.
like all their albums. I went to 2 of their concerts. But
Twice he went
Now,
to their concerts.
I think their concerts look awesome.
Yeah, I'm
I've
sure
seen
they're
videos of
great.
them, and they
It was a
look
great
incredible.
I wouldn't pay money for it, but
Yeah.
it was a great
I would
time.
pay a small amount of money.
Eric doesn't care for Coldplay. McCabe over
Perfect.
here. And Robert,
no theme music, McCall.
the vestibule.
The best.
Call.
The vestibule.
Wait a minute.
You're either trying to say vestibule or something different,
Vestibule.
but whatever. But yeah, it's vest weather.
Yeah,
Well, it's actually in Emporia. It's about 40. My watch says 45 right now.
45.
So
Mine
pretty
says 48.
pretty
Is it
cold.
over there?
Mine
Your
says-
watch is dumb.
Mine says 45.
See, his is right. But yeah, it's a little too cold for just a vest, so I've got a jacket as well. but I'm telling you, best weather.
That's not
We'll
really
do
a
it again,
jacket, though,
Devin.
is it? That's
Devin,
more
No,
like-
no,
let's
no.
get
I
close-
have a jacket.
I want to
put
get
on
a
top.
close up
Okay.
because I really want people to see it. Devin, go ahead and do a nice zoom into Robert McCall's vest, his North Face vest.
Is it your favorite?
As we've chronicled, I only have 2 vests, and the jury's still out on whether or not it's my favorite because I've only had it.
So
for
is the
a
other
little
one
bit.
different than that one?
Yeah, it's just black, and it's a little bit different material.
That's really different.
Okay, it's a little bit
different
different
color.
material.
Oh, okay. All right, sorry for you audio listeners only, but if you want to see the vest in all its glory, you need to watch the YouTube video or go to the Facebook Disc Golf Answer Man group and watch that.
Or just message me on Facebook, and I'll just take a picture of myself in it
Oh.
whenever you want.
He loves his
Opening
vest.
up a can.
No,
right
yeah,
there.
that's obviously a joke. Please do not do that.
So, yeah, no kidding. So today is Tuesday. In the next few days, we will be getting ready for the Dynamic Discs Open, and we are super excited about that because, for one, it's full. We have a
It
full,
filled so fast,
I know.
too.
Is it 180?
Yes.
Sweet.
yeah, 180. So we've got a lot of people excited to come to Emporia to play. Which courses are we playing?
Jones East and Jones West.
Nice. So we're going to play the Jones
Old
courses.
school.
So it'll be 2 rounds of hopefully the rain will not come.
Hopefully it just rains like crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Why not?
Whatever.
Got him.
It's already, I mean, it's already full.
It's already. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm
Might
not
as well
going
just
anywhere.
rain.
I don't mind rain at my home.
Nah.
I mean, it's better than being on the road.
I don't want it to rain because I'm going to be out there trying to film. Me and Anthony.
I know, I get
I've
it.
never heard of rain being bad for technology.
Never.
No, not at all.
I mean,
personally.
if you got good technology, it's waterproof,
Yeah.
right?
Gosh.
The other thing we're
Waterproof.
excited about is with the Dynamic Disc open happening.
Opening
we have-
happening.
We have the Grow Disc Golf.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Dang.
Ace.
We don't know what that is.
Ace race, run for the cure.
Yes. Yeah. Race. So we have a chance for you to win $5,000 on hole 12, one of Eric McCabe's signature holes with a really beautiful elevated basket. Nice. You like how I'm like going faster through the things I've already said.
Yeah, that's okay.
Anyway, I accidentally did not hit record again, guys. So anyway, we have the
Again,
brick with the red mulch and throwing over the pond. What's the distance again?
340-ish.
It was 320 last
Yeah.
time.
It was 3:30 last
It's
time.
a little different this time
It's a
now.
little we've changed it since.
You change it, we change it.
Yep.
So 340 feet
Ish.
to the basket ish. If you make it, you get $5,000. Boom, it's yours.
Thank you.
No questions asked. No.
No, there's going to be plenty of questions
no.
asked.
Yeah.
We're gonna have film. Devin's gonna be. I'm pointing as if people can
Question
see
number
him on
1.
the
How
camera.
dare you?
How dare you?
I was gonna hit that.
Devin's going to be out there filming. If he gets a hole in one, $5,000. If you throw a dynamic disc, Westside disc, or Latitude 64, guess what happens, Robert?
What happens?
We double that.
That's so awesome.
You know how much that is?
$25,000.
No,
Wow.
$10,000. You got it wrong.
You're so bad at math.
Used to be good at math.
10 grand goes to the person that gets the ace with one of our discs. So we are super excited about that. It's something that we're trying to, it's just going to be kind of a testing ground for it. And then they're going to do it at Steven Story's Dynamic Disc Carrollton's Piney Woods Open, which all three of us are going to be there, right?
I will be in attendance. Eric is a maybe.
I'm a game time decision.
Oh, no. Okay.
I'm a
So-
game time decision.
Robert is a definitely.
I believe I'm definitely for
Yeah.
sure.
You're definitely.
So we're going to be out there having a good time, but we're also going to have another ace race run for the cure, whatever we're calling it. That's Doug's exact name. So anyway, going to have another chance for $5,000 or $10,000. So super excited about that.
I intend to depart with those $10,000 from the tournament.
You can't. You work here, so you can't. You don't qualify.
That's not true.
I'm going to make it true.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Seems
make it
reasonable.
No,
sorry, doesn't
I
count,
will
man.
veto that,
Yeah.
or I will quit for that day.
Yes.
So anyway, super excited about that.
Guys, this really isn't working out. For me. but on Monday, I
be
think I'm ready to come back.
Not really working out, guys.
It may work out again.
I'll see you Monday.
Let's see what else we got going on for. That's it, isn't it? It's 45
That's it.
degrees today.
Yep. Last weekend was USDGC. Congrats to Nate Sexton.
Nate
That's
Sexton,
true.
good job.
That
on
was fun to watch. Really
was
just
fun.
steady play as we're used to seeing from him, but didn't make a lot of mistakes, and I feel like he capitalized on a lot of bad situations from his competitors, and then he got a lot of birdies. Didn't have a whole lot of bogeys. So
Well, it's really cool. I mean, he's obviously just a really solid player, very consistent player. One thing I thought was really cool for him to finally win his first major, and to do it in a kind of, what was it? 2 years ago, he had the same exact lead going in the final round.
yeah, and he said
Lost by 8.
11. I think is
11,
what he said.
okay.
Yeah.
So it was awesome to see him go out and finally get his first major. Props to you, Nate.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Super fun to
Tough
watch.
one to win. One thing I will say that I'm kind of disappointed in is, and it wouldn't have mattered obviously, but hole 18.
Having it be in the short to
Yeah.
finish. Yeah, I agree.
Championship day. For me personally, you got to push that thing long. You've got to.
Yep, I agree.
That's really the only thing
I guess I hadn't got there. I didn't realize that it was in the short for the last day. I knew it was for the first day.
It was for the first and last day were the same configuration.
Okay, gotcha.
And second and third were
Gotcha,
the same
gotcha.
as well. So I don't know. I just think it's so much cooler to end on that hole. It's such an iconic hole.
Yep.
Seems to be what was it, hole 2 that had the poles in it. And
Yeah.
They put a little thing. I'm not trying to. I'm sorry, but I thought it was funny. Someone called them mozzarella sticks
Yeah.
because they had the stuff around it. But seems to be that wasn't as big of a deal as it was going into the event. Like a lot of people were just kind of booing on it. And then I saw a couple comments about it when you would see it on the videos. But for the most part, it didn't seem to be something that people really just grabbed a hold and said, "This is stupid." Blah blah. Not as much as I was thinking going into it. So, do I think it should have happened? In my opinion, I don't think it was necessary. But it didn't seem to be as big. But the biggest thing that I seemed to notice was the lack of live coverage.
Yep.
And that's I think we've
That's
talked
nothing
about.
new for this event, though.
Right,
I
that's
mean,
what
the
I
past
think.
couple years, it's been like that.
Yeah, and we've talked about that before, but I know that was a big topic. It seems to be even on. I think it's really good that USDGC posts a form where you can tell people what can we do better, kind of like what we do with our past players at GBO. But that seemed to be in the. Obviously, I don't have access to the form submissions, but on the Facebook post, I would say 80% of the comments of the 20 was, "Why isn't this live?"
Right.
It was funny. I posted that evening. Congratulations, Nate. Because he's a good friend of mine. I've known Nate for years,
Yeah. And just a well-respected guy.
yeah, absolutely. And I, said congratulations on winning your USDGC title. And somebody got mad at me and called
Spoiler.
it like, spoiler alert. And I'm like, really, dude? Like,
Are you
Like,
serious?
come
I
on.
swear, like,
Come
and then,
on.
and then,
And it was
well,
what day? It was.
It was the day it happened, but it was that evening. And what really upset me was that particular guy. I had said, well, if you really wanted it to be a surprise and you wanted to wait till Monday,
Stay off social
stay
media.
off social media. And he even said, I can't argue with that. But then somebody else got on there and just reamed me for like, it just
That's
blew
silly
my
to me.
mind that you're going to open up Facebook and think that there's not going to be, they even had live video. The
Right.
Facebook
Avery
videos
had,
are out
yeah,
there.
or, yeah.
There's my news feed was full of posts.
Yeah.
I mean, Give me a break, dude.
Yeah. I agree.
I'll just say
I
it
miss
right
having live coverage because it makes
sure.
it like it's one of our two biggest events. You know, you could argue over which one is bigger or better. You could argue about that forever as long as you wanted to, but it just doesn't feel as big when we don't get to watch it live because there are people who want that. Now,
and either one of them were live this year.
That's true. Yeah, which is rough.
Yeah,
but anyway, it was it's been fun to watch the post-produced stuff. Cool to see Nate win. Saw Ricky, trying to charge, but Raincoat Ricky wasn't he didn't quite have the old raincoat powers this weekend. He's fast, man. When he gets up there, he's just.
Someone made a comment about the live video. Said you all need to get Jomez on the live because his production is sweet. And my initial reaction was, that's the whole point, is that we can't have...
It's apples and oranges, too.
We don't have the finances to create the Jomez-looking production in live, because that takes a lot more to it. There's just so much
more than just
more
one
to
camera out there. And Avery just had his phone.
Right, Avery was just doing his phone, but I mean, even if we had a live coverage... There's just not that financial backing to it to create all those graphics and all the slow motions and stuff like that, and the man
multiple trailers.
So I hats off to Jomez for creating an amazing production for Spin TV, and hats off to live production. They've made a choice to invest that money elsewhere, and I don't even though I don't like that there's not live, I don't fault them for it.
Right. I mean,
I understand that business decision.
Yeah, UC and the Disc Golf World Tour, like that's the choice that they made. They're sticking with it. Yeah, right. I understand it. Now, I wish for me, I would like to watch live coverage.
Sure,
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah.
So anyway, all right. So what else we got going on? Anything else?
I'm going to play a triples tournament this weekend in Texas.
No one cares.
I don't remember.
Oh, well, that's cool, man.
Well, I don't remember if you actually talked about the Grow Disc Golf Day live or on the unrecorded.
Oh, that's true.
So
did we? No, we didn't talk about it.
I don't think we've talked about that yet.
Something exciting that happened this past weekend was, of course, this whole week is we like to call Grow Disc Golf Week. It's just a week that we like to kind of recognize and say, hey, we'd like to grow disc golf.
Hey.
So
is that what we say this week?
Yeah. I haven't heard anybody say that this week. That's weird.
You missed the meeting.
Oh, dang it. Okay, my bad.
So we like to
missed it or wasn't invited.
Yeah. It's because you're so mean to me about my tournament.
Right.
Whatever.
It's true.
So we have a website, growdiscgolf.com, where it has blog articles where it kind of tells you how you can some suggestions for growing disc golf in your area, and so it's just most of us want to see disc golf grow. And these are just ways to do it. And this is how we recognize. Pick a day this week. Take some discs to work. Take a basket to work. A junior size recruit or whatever you have. Practice basket and show people disc golf. If they like it, awesome. You introduce someone new to disc golf. If they don't, stop being their friends at work.
That's right. Never talk to them again.
No, I'm just kidding. So what we did last weekend is we were able to work with Emporia State University, and we had a halftime show where we got 8 minutes to demonstrate disc golf to the crowd. And we were able to have 2 volunteers, 2 Emporia State students throw for CTP. We had a veteran basket at one end zone. The volunteers were at the 50-yard mark, and then Paige Bjerkes and Eric walked to the opposite end zone, and that's where they threw the CTP. They each got to throw 2 discs, and sure enough, one of the volunteers, Casey, won the CTP.
He did.
Awesome.
So that was really cool. How close was that one? Was it you that got pretty close, or Paige that?
Paige got pretty close. Okay. Mine both went
past the basket, way past the basket.
I don't know if you guys have heard, I throw really far all the time.
And then,
this is just too short of a shot for me.
It kind of was. And
no,
then,
I'm just
it was too short of a shot for me for the discs I had.
For the trespass, yeah, for sure.
But then right after that, Paige and I just tried to hit the uprights and throw, and the wind was absolutely horrible for that shot.
It was crazy.
But my first one, I thought made it, and it just barely turned wide right. And then the next one, I just said, I'm going to throw it as far as I can. And I hit the building.
Which is fun to do.
Yeah, I hit the building, and then I almost hit the backup quarterback.
Sorry about you.
So
it's just a backup. So
yeah, it was a fun day.
Who cares?
We were able to give, because Casey, the volunteer won.
Casey, the veteran.
We donated the veteran basket and all the discs that we had there to the recreational department, so they could incorporate disc golf into some of their recreations.
It's awesome.
It's their recreation.
Yeah, so
We were gonna. Can I be a spoiler alert and say we were gonna give the basket away?
Yeah, we're going to do it anyway.
We were gonna give it to them regardless.
It
But it was just cool that he won.
What an awful contest. Then.
Yeah, what an awful thing to do.
Yeah.
What an awful
to give to a college.
Yeah,
awful
come on.
thing.
I'm glad I wasn't there because I would have been
I
furious.
am sorry I was part
You
of
would
it.
have just mic dropped.
Yeah, this is dumb. No, that's awesome. That and it's cool that he won. Like that's
No, it
that's
is.
Really
Yeah,
cool.
it was pretty cool.
If you want to check it out, you can go to youtube.com/dynamic discs, and there's a video out there of it showing them throwing. So it's pretty cool. I think that's it. What do you say we get to the questions?
Questions?
Questions. Remember, guys, as always, you can go to discgolfanswerman.com, submit your question, and we will get it on the air.
The
You don't like
sing,
my
Sound like
the
Mrs.
sing-songiest.
First
That was
question
really
comes
good, yeah.
from...
He's in a
Stuff.
good mood today.
Yeah,
I am.
it's because he has his own theme music
That's true.
and gave us dumb.
I
theme
gave him a
music.
theme music. I
Yeah.
gave
Yeah.
Eric.
Yeah, he did. Now I'm
I'll
depressed.
look up.
You're dumb.
Yours.
You're okay.
I'll look up yours right now.
No questions. You
No.
just said questions.
Oh, you wanted it.
Oh,
You
this is gonna be
wanted it.
some doo-doo music.
Some doo doo. It's gonna be really good music.
Oh, it doesn't even have it in the thing.
Oh man. Why don't you read a question and then look for this while we're answering the
Oh,
question?
here you go.
Okay. Okay.
Robert McCall, Robert McCall, Robert McCall, Robert McCall.
Hey, you know where it began? I don't know when.
I can't begin to know.
I don't.
All right.
What's wrong with that music?
Nothing. I like it.
Okay.
It's from a commercial. That's all. Let's get into the questions.
Well, it's
Anonymous.
Yes.
Good morning, GGM crew. My question today is about disc wearability, disc use in your bag. My question is, I have a suspect, and I've played with it for a while now, and I've hit a few trees. When I first played with the suspect, it was really overstable. I kind of liked it for that reason, in a way, but I've hit a few trees with it now. Now it's kind of gliding a little bit more. It's kind of flipping just nice, and it's still a good disc. But my question is for any disc, at what point do you take it out of your bag after it's hit too much? Too much is like too many trees, whatever. It's worn in. It's worn in to the point that it's worn over. So my question, I guess, is, does this ever come out of your bag just because it hits too many trees? Or because it becomes too understable, whatever that is? Anyway, appreciate your response. Thanks for all you do. Talk to you later.
Cool. Well, Mr. Anonymous, for me personally, I think I'll take a disc out of the bag when I start to not trust it. As soon as I start throwing a disc and I throw it on the line I want and it starts to maybe fade right a little bit too much, or it just kind of maybe even turns into a cut roll, depending on the situation, really. But as soon as I can't trust throwing that disc, it's right out of the bag. And sometimes right into Robert's bag.
hey.
Sometimes into Bobby's bag.
Yo.
It just kind of depends. But no, in a lot of my discs, I'll if I'm playing, or I'll just give them to somebody on the course, which is really nice because, I mean, I'll also obviously stash them at the house and then be going through discs on a Saturday morning and be like, oh man, I forgot about this one. This one used to fly really good. And then I put it right back in the bag, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I
remember
took it
why
out.
I took this out.
So
yeah.
that's why I like to just get rid of them at that point, as opposed to just stashing them back. But for me, as soon as I can't trust the disc is when it's gone.
Yep. I would say for the people who don't have unlimited disc resources.
Okay.
That,
Everybody has unlimited disc resources.
That's true. You can buy as many as you want.
Exactly.
I think for me, before I got sponsored, if I really liked the disc and now it was doing something different than I thought, I would replace a different disc in my bag that maybe I didn't like as much.
Yeah.
And use the flight of that new disc because I was already familiar with it. So if I liked it when it was overstable, it's likely that I'll like it when it's straighter, likely that I'll like it when it's understable because I have confidence in that disc because I've thrown it so many times.
Yep.
But that's not for everybody.
Well, it's kind of like having an understable mid-range in the bag, or would I rather have a seasoned DMAC Truth? I would personally rather have a seasoned DMAC Truth instead of buying a brand new understable flyer.
Yep.
Awesome. Next one comes from DJ Sherwood. Yes. What's going on, DJ Sherwood? That didn't do anything.
Are you going to play Sweet Caroline again?
No, DJ. I'm not sure what happened, DJ. We'll come back to you. Hold on. Let's see if Zach's works.
Big Blues. Oh, what's going on? This golf answer man crew. Bobby. Cool Daddy. Slick Breeze. Please make a video where you just raid Eric's house and go through all of his discs. I would love to see a MTV Crib style, but I want to see like DGAM disc stash, and the first episode should be Eric McCabe's stash. I want to see a bunch of classics, cool stuff. I want to see stuff that nobody has. I just love Frisbees. So that would be cool if you did that. No pressure.
No pressure.
Actually, Zach,
that's a great idea.
That's actually an idea I had. Now, not specifically rating or
am I going to be there?
Crib. Yeah, no, you're not going to be.
I mean,
if you'll just be out of town.
Technically, if he's raiding,
yeah, right.
It's just me, Ralph, and Sheba.
Perfect. Sheba will definitely show you around.
I bet she would. No, I had an idea where I would go to places like can't think of the guy's name, Scott Reek.
Yeah,
because he collects a lot, and Scott Reek has collected a lot of dynamic discs, archive stuff like flyers from the very beginning and stuff like that. So my idea was to do not necessarily a MTV Crib style, but kind of like a short documentary type style where we would show people's disc collections, because I know disc collectors have some really nice discs. I don't know what Rock Searle.
He's got the Judge Museum.
I wanted to set things up, and then something happened, and he moved away, where it was not quite doable to drive out to where he was at. But yeah, he has a collection of all kinds of judges, and I thought that would be interesting to do that. So yes, that is an idea that I've had, and but just trying to find the time to do it. Maybe now that the disc golf season slowed down, maybe I can do that. But again, if I want to do it right, I want to be able to fly out to people's houses and actually look at their disc collection and stuff like that.
You don't have to fly to my house.
Yeah, mine's just a short drive away.
I live in the next neighborhood
Even
over.
if I do Wichita, it's not shorter?
It might be.
No.
Oh, okay.
Then you could just walk. I mean,
maybe that would be
might
good,
work.
like tester, like a first one to do to kind of figure it out. But yeah, I think it would be a really cool video.
Awesome.
Next one comes from, let's try as DJ one more time. Sorry, DJ. I'm not sure what's going on, but I have, it says it's 1:27 long, but then when I hit play, it's only 8 seconds, and it's 8 seconds of nothing. So let's try Alex.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, guys. I was just finishing up some putting practice. I was wondering if you could help me out. I really like the Classic Judge, the Classic Hard, and I was hoping you could show me some love. On your website, there is really only the Classic Judge. There's no cool hand-eye stamps. There's no burst versions of it available. And even if you just search Classic Judge, it's like the 25th item down with Classic Soft, Classic Blend, and all the other cool varieties and all the minis. So I'm just kind of hoping you could give some love to the Classic, the Hard, the Classic Judge. Thanks. Bye.
I thought there was some hand-eye Classic Hard Judges out on the shelves as we speak.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure there is on the latest run that they did just last week.
Oh yeah,
it's not listed.
It's wholesale.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry,
but I don't know if I mean I would assume that the store would get them. They usually do.
Mm-hmm. I would think so.
So is that all the love you wanted for the Classic Judge?
I mean that's all the love I've got for the Classic Judge.
The bursts, we're starting to make bursts in more plastics and more discs, but it just hasn't gotten to the.
And a lot of it is whenever they're gonna manufacture more.
Correct.
Is when you'll see more of the burst and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Next one is from Tagashi.
What's up, DGAM crew? Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze. Eric, never at the office anymore, McCabe, and Robert, Big Ol' Muscle Groups, McCall. I'm Tagashi from Johnson City, Tennessee, and if you can hear stuff in the background, just ignore it. It's my daughter. Can't go in another room because I'm supposed to be watching her, but, disc golf takes precedence. Just kidding. Anyways, my question comes from something I noticed in Prodigy's version of Is This Disc Right For You videos. And don't worry, Bobby, yours is still OG and way better. But I noticed that in their videos, they had people of different skill levels from junior to pro men and women throwing all their discs at different weights. But I was paying specific attention to the D1, which was their most overstable distance driver. But I noticed at the lower weights, like between 148 to 150s, that the amateurs were getting the disc to turn slightly, and that the pros were just getting the disc to completely hyzer flip and then turn out. My question is this a valid and reliable way of getting the disc to do different flight shapes while still keeping a consistent mold and or plastic? Like, for example, can this be replicated with a defender and enforcer at higher weights to be the tried and true overstable disc, but at a lower weight getting the same mold to potentially be reliable and hyzer shot? Thanks for answering my question. Love what you guys do, and as always, keep it real.
I know on the Defender, especially, there's actually a run right now that the 166 that I have in my bag is the most overstable version of that disc. I have no idea why. I know it's got maybe it has a little bit more dome to it. Could have something to do with the stability of it, but just because a disc is lighter weight doesn't always necessarily mean it's going to be an Anheuser disc. I
would say if you have two of the same run of Defender or Enforcer, the lighter one will generally be less overstable.
Generally, yes.
That's true.
Maybe not as much on like high speed,
right,
domey drivers, but something more like a fairway driver, then I would absolutely agree.
I agree. It's when you get down into the 140s, 150s, I think that's far enough away from the 170s that it really does change the flight characteristics. Mm-hmm. And so if you're able to find some, say, like an Enforcer down around that weight range, maybe that's an Air Enforcer or something like that, I do think that'll fly a little bit less overstable. But
have you thrown an Air Enforcer?
Well, I mean, they're generally really overstable, they're also board flat. It's almost a different run, really. So it's not a tried and true rule that lighter discs are less overstable.
Yeah.
That can be the case, and if they're discs made at the exact same time, same plastic, but the lighter weight one will generally be less overstable.
Correct.
But it's not a rule across the board.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to take a real quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have an interview with Tyler Searle, or some people call him, that don't know him very well, Ty Searle.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Anyway, interview with him. He is one of our RV drivers, and we're going to learn a little bit more about chasing the chains and life on the road. Hey, for this real quick break, I really want to talk about a couple of discs that we have that came out just recently, and one of those is the Paige Pierce Biofusion Defender. Eric, tell people why someone would want to pick up a Paige Pierce Biofusion Defender.
Because Paige Pierce is awesome.
Yes.
And it does help support Paige Pierce.
Absolutely.
And the Defender.
And the Defender is a wonderful disc. I have one in my bag. Robert has one in his bag. Bobby, do you carry a Biodiffusion Defender?
No, I need to get one.
That's probably what's wrong with your game.
It's probably, yeah.
No.
No. There's a lot more other things.
Yeah. It's to me, I think it's a great disc that pretty much all skill levels can use. Granted, it's going to come out of the bag for the upper skill level or the more arm speed players a lot more than, say, like Bobby, for instance, who would probably have one in the bag and he would only bring it out if the wind's blowing or if he's trying to throw a forehand or he knows he just needs it to go left. But, someone like Paige, she just absolutely mashes these things.
Crush.
Like 400 plus on nice little turn S-lines. And it's a disc that I know watching her play, she can just really crank on that thing as flat as she wants and know that it's going to come back at the end of the flight. So it's been a great flying disc for her. And if you love that Biofusion plastic, these didn't come out quite as domey as the original run of Bio Defenders, but I think that's going to add a little bit more distance to each one of them.
Agreed.
So the Biofusion plastic is kind of a mixed plastic. We take discs that they were overweight or didn't quite come out right.
Imperfections, maybe.
Imperfections, and they grind it up, and it's a combination between our Lucid and our Fusion. They grind that up, and it comes out Biofusion. So
and sometimes moonshine. I've seen Biofusion that actually glows.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Biofusion is kind of like another word is for maybe like a recycled plastic. Maybe that's what maybe more familiar. So good quality plastic, it just tends to bead in a little faster.
Yep.
But some people really like that. They prefer that. So the Biofusion, yes, like Eric said, if you buy it, the Paige Pierce one, it helps Paige Pierce as she's out on tour. Another one that I want to talk about that helps Paige Pierce is the Paige Pierce Signature Series Deputy. Now, we're very excited about the Deputy. A lot of people are excited about the Deputy. In fact, I think we've sold out of the first stock of them, and the store had to scramble back here to the warehouse and grab more. Super popular. I love the Deputy because it's a super nice, straight, little bit of a turn to it to the right, throw from the T-pad putter, and I love that I can do that with a putter. It's an excellent putting putter as well. I've got 8 prime ones that were given to me from Trilogy.
There you go.
In your bag?
In my bag.
That's right.
Yes, yeah, all in my bag. I have a separate bag. It's called the Deputy bag. No, and then I just recently purchased 2 of the Paige Pierce ones because I wanted that classic plastic, and I want to get
it's in classic hard.
Classic hard, and then the stock stamp is a classic blend. But it really encourage you to head out to dynamicdisc.com or your favorite retailer and check out the Paige Pierce Bio Defender and the Paige Pierce Classic Deputy, because again, very good discs, but all that goes toward helping, not all of it, but some of it goes toward helping Paige Pierce while he's out there. So good stuff. And not even, I mean, I'm a casual player and I like the Deputy, but I know some players that like Patrick Blazik. He loves the Deputy. Chris Telespo loves the Deputy.
I can see that. They're at higher elevation.
Yeah,
so it's going to be a little bit more stable.
Loves the Deputy. I think I saw a Snap or Instagram where Zach Melton got an ace with one of the Paige Pierce Deputy.
False.
That was a warden.
Was it ace?
It was a warden.
He got I'm going to find it.
Okay.
Because he did get that with the Captain America warden.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he did, I believe he also got an eighth with Paige Pierce because it said, now I know, maybe he just threw it and he liked the throw. Because he says, now I know why Paige Pierce loves these.
Yeah. They're awesome. They truly are.
I'm going to find that because I know I did. Anyway, check those out.
I'm going to find it.
Now let's get back to the show. Okay, so in studio, we have a special guest, Tyler Searle.
Hey.
Hey.
Welcome,
What's
Tyler.
up, guys?
What's up?
Hey.
So
how
Tyler
you
Searle
doing?
is part of our RV drivers, 4 RVs that we have that travel all across the United States to spread the good word of Dynamic Discs, Latitude 64, and Westside Discs. So I was telling, when we were not recording, when I thought we were recording, so now
You
we're
were
actually-
trying to tell us.
Yeah, we were
though.
trying to tell us. But
He
I'll
still
have
told us.
I told you to.
told
We
us.
heard it. Nobody else. Nobody else.
So, but Tyler, tell us a little bit about what it is you do out on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Chasing the Chains tour is something that we started 5 years ago when we started manufacturing discs. So we're getting ready to start our 6th season, which is crazy. Started off just as a way to kind of promote the brand. You guys all know that we were working really hard here in like the Midwest, but nationwide we weren't quite as well recognized. So we wanted to kind of push the brand out there to introduce ourselves to everybody, let them know what we were about, kind of our culture here as a company, specifically with Dynamic Discs at that time. We were doing 2 disc challenges with just our 4 Frisbees at that point. You got to choose a judge or a fugitive, which doesn't exist. So there are people out there that are our fans that didn't know we made a fugitive, probably.
Right, yeah.
I bet you're right.
And so, yeah, you got to use a judge, a fugitive, an escape, or a trespass.
Nice.
Yep.
So tell us, so 2 disc challenges. So you travel everywhere. You set up, usually you talk with like a disc golf club or a store, and you set up a good time to go to a certain course. And then you've got or a traveling store, if you will, with all our inventory, with all our discs and bags and carts and hats and shirts and stuff like that. But tell us a little bit about the different formats that people may encounter if they ever go to one of our 2 disc challenges.
Sure, yeah. It's changed a lot over the years. Yeah. Like it used to be a 2 disc challenge. You played around flex start generally. noon to 6. We started off in the wintertime, so they're like noon to 6 and play with those 2 discs, and best score wins. We would pay out the top 3. Now it's evolved into so much more. I know being my 5th season, just for my sanity, I try to mix it up a little bit. So I do a lot of 2-disc random draw dubs in the summertime because we got the daylight. So instead of being there during the daytime when everybody's at work, we'll do evening stuff, rock some 2-disc challenge dubs. Weekends anymore, it's kind of like, hey, club, what do you guys want to do? Like, you guys want to have a C tier? You guys want to play? You want to have dubs? You want to play 1 round in the morning before it gets hot?
Nice.
You want to do an all day deal? Like, what do you guys want to do? So, I've become super flexible. I know the other guys have too, in terms of the format that's available to them. Really, it's just about us getting out there, having a good time with the locals, getting to know them, see if there's ways in the future we can help them grow, support them, that kind of thing. Really, it's grown into just a disc golf ambassador kind of deal with the 2-disc challenge tour. It's just getting us out there.
It's awesome.
No, you said something about this being in your 5th season. Tell us a little bit, because a lot of people, their dream is to get on the road and go just do disc golf, live in an RV. But tell us some of the realities of that.
Eric, do you still want a tour?
Oh man, I'm good.
Come on, buddy, come on the road. No, look, I'm not looking for another job. I love it. The family that we have here, the culture we have here, this company is just one that it's impossible to replace. Right. So it's fantastic. Being on the road itself, that can be hard sometimes. You encounter a number of different challenges when you're out there. Even when let's just say when it's smooth sailing, when everything's running good, when your generator works, the AC's pumping, the heater's kicking, everything's good. This year I figured it out. I feel like every day, because I rotate, I go about 2 weeks on and then about 2 or 3 weeks off. Right. I'm the only driver that has a wife and kids, so it's kind of a little bit more important for me to spend some time at the house than some of the other guys that are single or don't have any children, that kind of thing. It's a little easier for them. But when I'm on the road, I feel like I get 3% more tired every day.
Okay.
So it's like
really?
I start off 100% fresh, ready to go.
You're freaking kicking.
Yeah, and then I'm like 97%. But then it's like 3% of 97, so we'll do that math.
Okay.
So I'm like 96.8.
Yeah,
right?
or whatever.
So it's just like a little bit less every day. So when I finish the trip at the end of 2 weeks, I'm still at like 84.
Right.
But I'm like,
Still pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm still like, man.
Better than most.
Yeah, some days, yeah, sure. You can feel that bad at home sometimes.
Yeah.
By the end of the trip, I definitely know that I've been out there for 2 weeks. Sometimes you don't get great sleep, depending on where you're doing it. You got to drive a little bit further in the evening, and that's a drag because you got to kind of get there, and then you get done. You still have to do all your book work. It's a daily store that you have to open and close, open the books and close the books every day, because the next day it's like you have a new business because it's a new town. You want to record that data, have it so that you can use for the future, so you know where you're at, what you're doing.
There's also something about your bed too at home.
Yeah.
That's
no question.
That first night sleep back is probably the best sleep
You've
ever.
never slept that well in your whole life.
Yeah.
Eric and I were together in New Orleans a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, right?
Yep.
And we were in a wonderful place.
Oh, it was
very
awesome.
nice.
It was.
I probably was sleeping in the most expensive bed I've ever stayed in my whole life.
Perfect.
And it was in the Garden District in New Orleans. And I had like a road construction going on beside me. So it's like $1 million bed, and I got like 10 cents sleep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
I left that convention super tired.
So tell me a little bit about, tell us, being very careful. Tell us, one of the worst things that's ever happened to you on Love and Never, or I guess maybe the funniest challenge you ever had while you're out there.
All right. The most challenging thing.
I say that because I know I've heard some stories where they're pretty,
Right. All right. So 2 things, and they both relate to personal safety. So
Naturally.
folks in Texas probably don't have this problem, but I don't carry a gun. I don't have that license thing going on. So so sometimes you get a little nervous in certain areas. There's I'm born in Kansas, raised in Kansas. Just everything's right in the world: sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops. Man, it's just everybody's nice. There's nobody mean out there in the world, and it's not that case sometimes. So I was in. We're not going to call anybody's town. I was in the South in a town I'd never been in. First time I was ever there. I didn't know the course, but I'd gone on disc golf scene and talked to my local TD about how things work in that course and where they set up. And he told me where they set up down by the pavilion. And I was like, all right, no problem. So I get there, and this is doing a 12 to 6 flex start. So I get there about 10:30 in the morning so I can be set up and ready to rock, an hour before start, more or less. And I get all set up. And if you guys don't know what a setup looks like, Bobby has great videos on YouTube. You guys, Rob, you should go to YouTube, check out the Chasing the Chains
Thank you.
videos.
I'll go check that out.
Please do. See the setup. It's a big setup. It takes
is, yeah.
by yourself 45 minutes or so to set it all up, like show ready. So I get it all set up, looking good, shining, everything's nice. And a local guy comes down, and this guy is old school, great disc golf. I mean, he's got like a 3-digit PDGA number.
Dang.
You know, like old school, been around forever. And I was like, hey, how's it going? It's fantastic to see you. I didn't know you were going to come out today. He's like, hey, you know, usually we set up top. And I was like, oh, really? Well, you know, talk to my guy and, you know, everything on disc. Yeah, this is where we did the big tournaments. If it stays busy, you should be all right. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like,
What does that mean?
Are you packing? And I was like, a gun? He said, yeah. I was like, no, I got Frisbees. What are you talking about? You know, we're just having a good time in the park, right? He's like, well, and I probably gave away a dozen discs that day to guys that probably had ulterior motives.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it would be folks that didn't know what disc golf was, they got like a clinic from me because about the third car through that had ill-feeling intentions, I was meeting them out front,
Right.
you know, hey guys, good to see you. Have you guys ever played disc golf before? Here, try out this new putter we have. This is called the Judge.
Yeah.
You know, and we were out there just throwing them in the park, and they were looking at me like I was crazy, but they left with a smile and a Frisbee in their hand.
And you're not getting shot.
Right?
I mean,
I brought all the money back home to Rusco, and we were all happy.
that's
so
awesome.
it was good.
That's a much better story than Matt Lloyd's
yeah. No. Yeah.
sad story
Yeah.
on the road. And if you guys don't, I'm not going to tell Matt Lloyd's story. You ask him. Ask Matt his exact story for.
Yeah. Matt's is
He's
much
not a
more
very
comical.
good storyteller. That's the problem. You know? It's like he's not very funny or like,
He doesn't have a unique
He
accent.
told it.
That's right. I love Matt.
He told it on the Disc Golf Answer. I
Yeah.
don't remember what episode it is, but
Oh man, that'd be
Yeah, it's a
awesome.
funny
Yeah, if
story.
you guys can find that Matt's story, and the funny thing about Matt's story was like his first day alone on the road.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Like Matt and I had
Like,
done.
this is what it's going to be.
Matt and I
This
had
is
done
my
like
life.
We
This
had
is my
gone to
life.
USDGC. We did like 10 days of training with just you know Matt and I was like, all right, bud, go get him.
Yeah.
High five.
Do your thing.
Poop bomb.
Yeah, he had a problem with the sewer, not the sewer system, the septic system
Septic tank.
in the RV. So very
Oh.
good story.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So
Well,
yeah,
Matt.
so I'm assuming so
That dude's funny, man. I like him.
Yeah. Matt's great people.
you've got some security concerns out there sometimes. So, but you know, you've made it.
And
It's
yeah,
been 5 years.
Oh yeah.
So everything's good to go. Tell us if somebody wants to find out more about how to find out where the next Chasing the Chains 2-disc challenge is at. Tell us how we find out.
That's a great question. The best thing to do is to message the Chasing the Chains, the Dynamic Discs Chasing the Chains Facebook page. All 4 of us drivers and a number of other folks kind of monitor that page, help us kind of keep an eye on it. You guys know out there, it's hard to keep track of everything in social media these days. We all have so many accounts and so many things. Certainly, you can reach out to any of us drivers individually. You know, you got Jonathan Ray, Jay Ray, Matt Lloyd, as we discussed, Chris Wiggins, and myself. You can certainly reach out to us individually. But if you don't know, or if you're not friends with us and you're scared that's going to go in the other box or something like that, then just fire a message off to that Dynamic Disc Chasing the Chains page, and somebody will see it. You know, just be patient because it's. Even on that page, sometimes I feel like those messages get buried and I don't see them like when I'm supposed to see them or that sort of thing. So, but yeah, just keep pinging everybody and we'll get it figured out.
Very cool. Well, we'll let you get back to it. I know earlier you were out there doing inventory or getting the RV ready so you can get out on the road. So we wish you the best for sure.
Thanks, man.
And for all listeners and watchers, make sure you go to Facebook, Chasing the Chains, and that way you can watch because sometimes they'll take nice pictures of where they're traveling. I know a lot of times they'll have some nice pictures of the mountains and stuff where they're at, and so really cool stuff. And that way you'll know if they're ever coming to your area. So thanks a lot for stopping by, Tyler.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Ty, real quick, tell
Yeah.
us where you're headed.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably a good question.
Hey.
You know, the host of a show probably should think of that question. But
That's
not
okay.
important.
No, you get a pass, Bobby.
I hit record. I'm good.
That's right.
Mission accomplished.
I'm sure these guys are going to talk about this later about the whole record issue.
Yeah.
So right now we're relocating the RV for the winter, or at least my RV. Always, you know, when we had one RV, we always would move the RV south for the winter, and that's kind of how we did it. I told Rusco, I was like, hey, what if we just take it south? And we we see if that works. And so now with having all the RVs, the guys will keep theirs at their place, but I still take one south for the winter. So we're headed south, and we're up here. Flew up this morning, and Thursday we'll be in McAllister, Oklahoma, having a good time down there. Got some good friends back through the years down there, and excited. Then Longview, Texas, again, they were on the original 11-stop 2-disc challenge tour stop. So I love those guys. I remember the first time I went to Longview. I had a good EMAC story, if I got a second. Nice. So we roll up into Longview, and I'm getting set up and kind of meeting my host, Hayden Henry, and Hayden's an awesome dude. And he's like, "Do you have those EMAC putters?" And at this point, there wasn't any EMAC putter. Like, it was just we didn't have it. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know which one you want. And he was like, the EMAC one. And I was like, well, I got this like Dimax EMAC Fusion Judge that like my brother and I made the first time things were working. And I was like this? He's like, those are the ones. I was like, where did you even see these? Found it on the internet. So he like got a one of one, like he out of my bag. I was like, I got this one. You can have it, man. Thanks for having us. So
nice.
Yeah. So Longview and EMAC, they were awesome. in like Flynn from the jump. And then we'll be finishing up in Beaumont, Texas on Saturday, and then screaming over to the house. About 7 hours from Beaumont to the house. Sleep there, like Eric said, for 2 days in the bed that I've been in for 2 days this month, and like the week before that, it's been a go. And then Tuesday, I got a really exciting event. Any of you guys that are in and around Jacksonville, make sure you come out. That's where the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championships are going to be. And I've been trying to call it the finale for a month, but it's the championships. And we're doing a special event. I've invited all of the in-town Team Latitude, Team Dynamic Discs, and Westside Discs team players out to Seven Bridges Brewery. And it's going to be a lot of fun. They've got an awesome putting little thing back there. Y'all are going to Texas.
Oh, that's right. I forgot the same weekend.
Yeah, Bobby.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's all right, Texas. We love it. And yeah, so we're going to have a great player party. It's going to be awesome. I've been to Jacksonville for a number of events, Chasing the Chain and otherwise. They've got an A-tier that I work down there. And it's great. The brewery's fantastic. We're going to have a great player party, just kind of meet and greet, real low-key. Everybody's going to be there. Guys come out. The pros will have their individual merchandise available, so if you guys want to pick up something from Ricky Page, whoever it is that's around that night, Eric, Tina, Johnny McRae, there's going to be a bunch. We got a bunch of folks that are going to be down there for the event. So come on out and, have some fun.
Very cool.
Excellent.
Awesome stuff going on for you, Tyler Searle. I love it.
Thanks,
love
Bobby
that you
Brown.
guys are getting out there spreading the good word. Yeah. No, I love it. I think it's
literally
awesome.
nobody calls him Tyler, though. That's the thing. It's like when you call him Richard Wysocki.
We got that cleaned up, though.
Okay,
We
Robert
appreciate
Brown.
you stopping by, Tyler.
You're going to stick to your guns.
It's all good. Only the people here at the store call me Ty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in my family.
That's how it is with me and Rob.
What did he say?
People call me Rob who know me closely,
Oh.
and mostly everyone else calls me Robert. So
There you go.
I
See
see
ya.
it. I feel you.
I know him from back in the day.
Oh, I know him from back
Well, you
in
should
the
call me
day.
Ty then, Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby.
Robert Brown.
Gosh.
All right, Lur.
Robert's
dude.
your dad.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, we'll let you get back to it, Tyler.
All right.
And now I'm like nervous about what I'm going to say. We'll let you get back to the RV and get it full and get you out on the road and doing good things. So
Play some of that cool music.
Yeah, we'll play some cool music.
Thanks, Ty.
All right, thanks. All right, we are back. So good information from Ty Searle. Good stuff. Make sure, again, Facebook, Chasing the Chains. Check out where he's at. Really cool, fun events. Now, back to the questions. This one's from Philip DeFries. What is your guys' opinion on playing novice? I've played rec in the past couple of tournaments, but I'm usually middle of the pack and usually even getting beat by a few novice players. Should I keep trying in the rec division or move back down? How do you go back further than rec?
Yeah.
The novice is underneath Rick.
Oh, okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm currently an 821 rated player, but was 777 until this latest rating update. Just want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Thanks.
I didn't think they had novice anymore either. I thought they kind of did away with novice, and then that's when
just occasionally
rec.
Maybe it's not a full on PDJ sanctioned tournament. Maybe it's just like a.
I don't know.
No, they still offer them at sanctioned tournaments.
So it's novice, rec.
Yeah, intermediate,
advanced. See,
super advanced.
There used to be AM2. Do you remember AM2?
That was before my time.
There was AM2s.
I don't know. We're always proponents of playing with better players makes you better, even if it doesn't do it immediately. In general, that'll make you a better player. So if it was me, I would probably continue playing in rec, especially if there's not a great difference in payout between novice and rec. And actually, a lot of times, novice will be trophy only, and sometimes rec will be trophy only as well. So if all you're really playing for is a trophy or a small players pack or a small payout, I would play with better players. That's just what I would do.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
MA4.
Yep.
Novice. Wow, I didn't know that.
MA4.
Then MA5, Bobby. Sorry. Wait, what's happening, guys?
What?
Sorry.
Next question is from Brig. Are there any places that Robert can go besides on the show?
Wait, what?
Well, I'm sorry, what?
Pardon me, what?
Are there any plans of producing the Warrant Infusion Plastic? Love the disc. Just prefer my mid-range Infusion Plastic.
Nah, and never.
Nah.
It's the worst disc ever. For
we
that
tried,
plastic.
and that machine literally blew up.
It was like, hey, I can't, man. I can't.
Yeah. I don't know why the Warrant isn't Infusion. It's been around for a while.
I would just say demand. A lot of people throw the Lucid Warrant, and this is what always happens with discs that are popular but not as popular as the very, very best sellers. Is if we stock them in a lot of different plastics, say we move 20 or 30% of them off the shelves, that time that was used to print those discs could be used to mold others that we would move. And so a lot of times with plastic choices like that, it really the better sellers, the top sellers, are going to be the ones you see in the most plastics. And I don't think the Warrant is there quite yet. It might be in the future, and it maybe is like a TFR or something like that. But I don't know. That's what I think.
I'm sure you'll see it at some point.
Yep.
Next one comes from Shane. What's up, Disc Golf Fans and Crew? The only podcast with 2 Bobbies, 2 Macs, but only one Bobby Mac.
Well played.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, for keeping it real. Thank you, EMAC, for your truth and all the great course designs that are making me make my wish list longer and longer. And Robert, don't call me Bobby again, McCall.
Yeah, don't.
Thank you in advance for whatever Dymax disc you choose to make Bobby carry, because I know you will become 1,000 rated and win the bet. We haven't talked about the bet in a while.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, not enough characters left for a question, so just thank you and keep it real. All right, Shane.
My man.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate that.
Appreciate that, Shane.
Next question comes from Shane. He went to the next. He submitted another question. I'm so sorry, guys. I still have a cold. I would like to ask you a favor. My friend Joe, who is a fellow podcast host on the Disc Golf podcast, they have other podcasts?
I've only heard of this one.
Yeah. Has been a little down.
That's not true. That's very untrue.
There's some Smash thing or something. Smash something or other.
That's not a podcast.
Oh, that's true.
Just 2 guys in a basement.
Hit a record on the camera.
Yeah, remembering to hit record.
Yeah,
whatever.
Anyway, he says my friend Joe is down on himself lately because he cannot hit his first ace. Join the party.
Something about podcast hosts. They just can't ace.
Apparently
That's
not.
right. That's right.
I was hoping you guys could call their voicemail line, the Raptor Range, also known as Circle 3, and just leave a message to let them know that it will be okay and it will happen eventually. This line is usually for people to call in and tell their ace stories, so it's a little insult to injury for the host.
Oh.
I think that your support will really help him through it. Thank you guys for everything.
Man, that's brutal.
We'll do that off air.
Wonder how long he's been playing.
I don't know. We'll do that off air. Or should we do it right now while we're recording?
We should probably do it off air.
Okay, we'll do it off air. We'll call him.
I hit my first ace like a couple of years into playing and didn't hit another one for like 3 years. And then when I was living in Austin, didn't hit one until I had been there for 4 years. I only hit 1 ace in Austin the whole time.
It's hard to hit an ace in Austin.
Yes. When you're not playing all the short courses all the time.
Yeah.
Next one is from Bob.
Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man crew. This is Bob from Plano, Texas. I was wondering what plastic the DD line carries that is similar to Star plastic. And if you guys have a disc that is similar to the Mamba, look forward to your answer. Keep it real.
Thanks, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
I'm not sure about what a Mamba fly is like, to be honest. I'm sure Robert knows. He probably threw them.
I didn't.
Okay.
But I do know they're extremely understable.
Okay.
Like the most understable.
So Thief?
No. Way more understable than that. Probably like a Witness. Yeah.
Okay.
And the plastic that we make that's closest to Star is Fusion. So a Fusion Witness would probably be what you're looking for.
Yeah. Would a breakout be 2 understable?
No, breakout is more overstable than a witness. You disagree?
They're probably about the same.
I've thrown
Similar.
both.
But one
I
is
think the witness,
only in 150 class. It's lighter, and
I think the
don't
breakout's more
believe we
overstable.
have fusion breakouts.
Say it one more
right?
time.
I think the breakout is more overstable than the witness.
In the in the lucid plastic?
Yeah.
Well, we don't have fusion, right?
Well, we have the prime. I thought maybe because the prime seems to be stable.
Yeah, that's not
Prime's
what I'm
stable
talking
and
about.
everything.
I'm talking
That's
about.
weird. I want to see you throw a witness and a breakout.
Great.
And I
Good
wanna
thing.
do it
Good
Let's
thing we
go.
have. Good thing we have a field out here and those discs in the warehouse.
because maybe I don't understand what a breakout.
I'd rather
is.
see Bobby throw them than you throw them because you can manipulate your throw to
Nah,
prove your points.
I would never.
So you need to throw them.
I would.
We're
never.
both gonna throw them.
We need to grab
Perfect.
blanks though. You grab them. Don't tell us which ones they are.
Ah,
That's a good. That's a good. I like that.
All right.
That is a good.
That's
All
a
right.
good.
That's a good.
Hey, listen, that's a good. Say-
Well-
no, you don't look at the back.
Well, not to mention, I mean,
No cheating.
Well, but they're embossed.
I would
so,
be able to
I mean,
tell the
even if you-
difference in the two.
Yeah, but no cheating.
Well, I
How
wish
would
we
you do
had.
it? You'd like hurry up and grab it and throw it.
Yes,
without
you have to
feeling?
close your eyes when Eric hands you the disc. You have to close your eyes, then you tee.
Okay,
Rules are rules. They're not meant to be broken.
All right, we're gonna try that
we're gonna try it right now.
in 45.
We'll be
degree
back.
weather. Yeah, right. Yeah, after this commercial. All right, next one is from Mikey.
What's up, Disc Golf Answer Man? Cool Daddy Slick Breeze. Eric, did you get your tickets to The Last Jedi? McCabe and Robert, Clubmaster McCall. Hope you guys are doing well. So I just got done watching the USDGC final round. It was a great round. It was fun
No
watching
spoilers, Mikey.
Nate Sexton dominate. And,
come
pretty
on,
much had a
Mikey.
flawless round in the rain.
Mikey, with the spoilers.
It's like you don't even care.
To be fair,
Mikey.
I think that was on the unrecorded.
Whatever.
All right, we'll see. Yes, maybe let's see what else he spoils.
Whatever.
I suppose you're gonna tell us who wins the next American Idol.
What?
Is that show even on anymore?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't have any idea.
It was really impressive. But my one comment and question has to do with commentating on these post-round footage videos that come out on YouTube. Nate Sexton and Big Germ, they do a great job. I really enjoy their commentating, but
Big Sexy.
it's kind of weird when they commentate a round that they're both participating in. And at times, Nate Sexton made some comments that almost made it sound like he was hinting at him winning the entire thing, and I'm not sure I like that. So I'm just curious as to what your thoughts on a solution for this would be. Is it finding two non-biased disc golf figures that would do a great job? If so, who would this be? Either way, I would just love to know your thoughts on how we can make this better and who we could have commentate so we have some awesome post-round footage. Thank you guys so much for the time you take to grow the sport, and I hope you guys have an awesome week. Keep throwing.
I remember when I was mostly doing disc golf coverage, and I remember there were a couple times where you even said you felt weird commentating
on rounds that I was on.
Right, rounds that he was in. But really, it comes down to availability.
Yep.
Now, Jeremy. Okay, let me take that back. Jeremy Colling and Nate Sexton do a really fantastic job to commentate. I'm not trying to take that away, but I think it comes down to availability for Jomez. You know, Jomez isn't a commentator. He's tried it before, and I've even chatted with him. He doesn't like doing that, but
He should get Ian to do it.
Ian does pretty
Ian,
good job.
that's what I'm saying. Ian's awesome.
But what really needs to happen
But it's different companies.
is obviously the sport needs to grow, but we need a legitimate full-time like commentators that are separated from kind of like the Smashbox where Terry Miller does. He's separated in a sense that he's not affiliated with really any manufacturer, and he goes out and he does commentary. Now, some people like his commentary, some people don't like his commentary. I get that.
Well, I think that's everybody. Everybody that's done commentary.
yeah.
People either
For
like
sure.
you or they don't like
Right.
you.
But I would agree that it probably makes it a little awkward to have the people that played the event or played that card that you're following actually commentate on the event. It is kind of odd. I don't think it's like terrible. It's just odd.
Yeah, it doesn't ruin anything for me because if you're paying attention to the event, you already knew that Nate Sexton won. Yeah. And
He
so
did?
come on, man.
Come
on, man. Hey, come on. You already knew that. And so I don't know. I understand those comments looking back on it, how you could say, maybe he was hinting at it, but I don't know. That's part of the problem without with not having live coverage is if you really wanted to catch it on the post, those guys a lot of times aren't really going to play it as if they don't know what happened because they were there, like they're standing there on the video. So I don't know what the solution is for that. I will say this though, and when you bring up Terry, I think this brings up a good point. I saw some people talking about Big Germ and Nate on the about their commentary and whether people like it or whether they don't. And there's people on both sides. A lot of people really like them. And somebody was like, they're good, but Terry's bad. Terry's good, but they're bad. And just right off the top, this is a tangent. You really can't compare live commentary to post-produced. Right. They are two totally different games that require totally different skill sets. And so if you're like, wow, Big Germ should be leading every live show, it's different. I think Big Germ would probably do well with the live show, but you need to know those are two different things. It's like comparing apples and oranges. So that's there's just a piece of my mind.
Thank you.
Hey.
Can I give it back?
You're welcome. No, you have to keep it.
Next one is from Danny. What's up, guys? So I watched a lot of USDGC coverage this weekend and saw some of the best players really use the forehand to their advantage. I use my backhand for almost all my shots. Right now, I can't keep my forehead flat.
Forehand.
I know, but he put head.
Oh.
I think he means forehand. And is only a useful shot for very hard right finishes at 100 feet or less.
Flat?
He meant forehand.
The monster. Frankenstein?
Got it.
What are some tips and advice you have for the mechanics, disc choice, and practicing for someone trying to develop a forehand? Thanks for everything you guys do. Love the show.
I think you see a lot of people throw dominant forehands at USDGC because it is a very lefty-friendly course. Majority of the shots when you're throwing forehand, you're throwing away from OB, skipping away from OB. Not every hole, obviously, but the majority of them. A forehand really does come in to an advantage almost. I mean, look at Sexton.
A lot of the slopes accept forehands better there, yeah.
Sexton, Big Germ, all those guys have great forehands, so it's not surprising to see them finishing toward the top.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's the nature of that course. There are different courses that play exceptionally well for people who have a strong backhand.
True.
So that just happened to be how that course plays right now and for this weekend. As far as mechanics and disc choice go, I would tell you to learn a forehand, kind of like I would tell you to learn a backhand, which is to start with a neutral disc. I would choose a mid-range just because the rim is a little bit easier to grip than a putter. But learn to throw that just flat and straight. And if you're wobbling it over too much or if you're having to put so much hyzer on it to get it up to flat, then you're probably doing something wrong, right? And so I would go watch some instructional videos on that, but also learn to throw that. And once you can throw a mid-range or a fairway driver that's kind of neutral, like for us that'd be a Truth or an EMAC Truth has a little bit of overstability to it even for a forehand. But like a Convict or something like that where you can learn to throw that pretty straight without having it torque a whole lot or wobble a whole lot. And you can throw basically anything after that. As far as mechanics go, one thing to remember is when I throw forehands, I put the pads of my finger against the rim instead of against the flight plate. That keeps your hand facing forward, and it makes you feel less like you need to roll your wrist over in order to achieve the flight that you're trying to throw.
Yep.
That'd be one thing I would try.
That's one thing I strongly recommend is the fingertip part on the rim as opposed to the flight plate. Yep. And finishing with your thumb up as opposed to turning it down. So those are the couple things that have helped.
You guys ready for the opposite?
Okay.
This next one's from
backhand?
Kyle. Hey, guys, I'm a forehand dominant player. Been playing for about 1 year, and I can throw 270 to 300 with no wind. Recently, I've been trying to work on my backhand. My problem is that on my reach back, I tend to pull from my left shoulder down to my hip, resulting in a bad shot that hits the ground about 50 feet in front of me. Any tips on what I should do? Thank you, guys. P.S. Robert is cool.
Thank you, Kyle. You're actually the first person who's told me that before, so I greatly appreciate it. No,
Ever.
Yeah. Parents included. They're usually like, yeah, Robert, you kind of suck, bro.
So what do you got for
They say bro also. It's bro.
What do you got for Kyle?
Oh, what do you think?
As far as a good backhand goes, it sounds like you're over exaggerating the follow through, the reach back if you're bringing it back and going down. And then he said that he's throwing it into the ground about 50 feet in front of him. That's usually it's either that you're either throwing it directly into the ground or you're sky hyzering it straight up in the air. I see the people throwing it up in the air a lot more than throwing it down, and I'm guessing you're throwing it down more because you're probably releasing it with the nose down. being a dominant forehand player, you typically will be releasing from lower than you would if you're a dominant backhand player. Really, the best thing to do is get out in the field and just work on that technique over and over, and of course, film yourself throwing it so you can see why you're bringing it back and at what point that you're bringing it back. Are you taking it off that plane? You know, something that somebody had told me years ago that has just stuck with me for some reason is when I'm bringing the disc back, not just bringing it back, but when I'm following it through, you kind of pretend it's like a tray. You're a waiter and you got drinks on it and you don't want to spill those drinks. So how do you do that? You keep that disc as level as possible all the way through. That's something that's really helped me over the years. I've kind of gone away from that method, so to speak, now, the way I bring the disc back. But for starting out and beginning, that's an absolutely wonderful way to kind of envision that in your head so you know to have a nice, level, easy release. And don't try to kill it. Just try to, like we suggested on the neutral flying mids and drivers, just try to... The same discs that Robert mentioned for the forehand are absolutely great for the backhand as well. And don't try to kill it. Don't try to even incorporate a run up into it yet. Just even little standstill, maybe one step until you get your mechanics down, and then you can kind of focus on a next step and getting more distance.
Yep, I agree.
Excellent. Next one comes from a Truth Serum Shane.
Ooh, okay. Shane Robinson. Is that right? Yeah.
My question is about course design. What do you think about trees right next to a tee pad, like within arm's reach in any direction? I feel like you should be completely comfortable when throwing your tee shot without having to worry about hitting your hand or even having to think about trees while you're in your reach back. There are a few courses locally with trees near the end of the tee pad, and it makes it impossible to use the whole tee pad. Is it an added challenge, or is it bad course design?
Ooh. That's a tough one. I've played courses that have trees relatively close, and I hate them because I hate the thought of not being able to do my normal throw with a follow-through off the tee. The tee is the one area that I should be able to...
Yeah, unencumbered.
Yes, not have to worry about hitting my hand on something. Now, if you're in the middle of a fairway or off in the rough, then sure. I mean, there's nothing you can really do about that.
You did this to yourself.
You did that to you. That's your problem. But on a tee, yeah, absolutely. I mean... right away, safety comes to mind right away. I think I know where he's from, and I think I know the area he's talking about, and I actually have a hole there that I envision always, and I've actually gone to the forehand on that hole because the backhand, the tree's in the way, and I don't know if that was kind of part of the main focus, but I don't know if it's bad course design, but it's kind of bad taste in a way.
Agreed. Anything that makes the course more unsafe, it's not good.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with that.
Because you can break. I mean, Feldberg, how many years ago? Probably 8 years ago now, maybe 10, was following through on a shot and didn't realize there was a tree there or just didn't cut off in time and broke his hand during a tournament.
Yep.
Because when you're following through, if you're not aware that that's there, you're not going to intentionally slow yourself down. You're going to follow through all the way, and you can easily break bones in your hand.
Yeah. That's why I hate being next to trees.
Yep.
Hate it.
That's why I choose to not hit any trees.
Oh. How's that work out for you?
It's a decent game plan most of the time.
That's awesome.
All right, let's take another break real quick, and when we come back, we'll hear a quick tip from Robert McCall.
Who is it? What?
Hey guys, I bet you thought you were going to listen to a commercial. Guess what? I'm going to give away a disc.
You?
Why are you laughing at me, Rob?
Hey guys, guess what? That's just funny.
Well, because I know people don't like commercials. I don't like commercials, but I'm going to put commercials in here every now and then. But every now and then, I'm going to give away a disc because you never know when it's going to be a commercial or it's going to be a giveaway. This time I'm giving away a special edition Criminal.
It's kind of a commercial for a criminal.
Yes, because we're going to talk about the Criminal. Eric, tell us about the Dynamic Discs Criminal.
It is amazing. What else needs said?
Let's get on with a giveaway.
Giveaway? No, the Criminal is a fairway driver. It is, in my opinion, our most overstable fairway driver.
I agree.
A little bit more overstable than the Felon. The Felon I get a little bit more straighter flight out of, as where the Criminal, I know for a fact what this disc is going to do, and that is go left. I can throw it into any type of a headwind. It doesn't get a whole lot of skip. When I throw it over the Criminal, or when I throw the Criminal over the Felon, is typically when I don't need a lot of distance or there is a lot of wind, because it fights the wind like no other. And great forehand as well.
I agree.
Great forehand approach disc. So
that's what I use mine for a lot.
The Criminal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Similar usage for you, Robert?
Yeah, I mean, same sort of thing. I don't really throw Felons as much now because I throw the Criminal instead. I just like the overstability.
This one is a special edition. A few months ago, we had a special edition where it's actually a special plastic, right? It's a different plastic.
It is.
It's like a.
It was only available in these special edition discs.
Correct. Tell us maybe some difference in characteristics in the special edition, Robert.
The way that it looks is different.
Awesome. Awesome.
The way that it's spelled.
Do you see the color and the kind of shimmer? It's different.
The shimmer.
Shimmery.
So we're gonna give this one away, and the way we're gonna do it is our old standby, the discgolfanswerman.com/subscriber. Let me make sure that that's actually still in play.
Let's hope so.
Subscribe.
We are not
Yes.
going to. Oh, we are.
No,
Okay, we're going to.
it says 44 not found.
Not found.
We are going to use something different.
We're going to create that page. We're going to create a discgolfanswerman.com/subscriber. Put in the key. I want to have Eric. You tell me what the special keyword is.
Ooh, code words.
Code word for the Criminal?
Yeah.
Plastic Criminal.
That's Plastic Criminal?
Yes.
All right. So
all one word.
All one word.
The C goes for the end of plastic and the beginning of criminal. Plastic Criminal.
Plastic Criminal. One word.
Plastic Criminal.
Plastic
Criminal.
Plastic Criminal.
Plastic Criminal.
Criminal.
There
Plastic Criminal.
There you go.
Put in the put in the secret word, secret phrase, and your name will be put into the drawing for this special edition.
There's
Criminal.
probably only going to be one that actually
That's
gets
exactly
that
what I was going to
correct.
say. Most people are going to spell it wrong, so
Yeah, you better spell it right.
take your chances.
And we'll give it away next week. Thanks, guys. Now back to your regularly scheduled program. This isn't a commercial. Actually, it was. All right, Robert McCall, what do you have for us this week on the quick tip
That's the end of the question?
of the week?
Okay, there we go. All right, so a lot of times when we talk about quick tips, they're things that I think about because of situations that I've encountered recently. And so this is no exception to that. I played at Olpe Lake yesterday. And it was pretty windy, as is often the case at Olpe, and it started raining on us. And so we always talk about what discs people have in their bag, but I want to talk about something else, a couple of other things that you need to always have in your bag, and that is towels and either a sports sack or a whale sack or something like that. And whether or not it's going to rain that day, if rain is in the forecast or not, I don't care. You need these things in your bag. Sports sack and whale sack, those both dry off your hands, so if you get a little sweaty or just get something weird on there, it's really easy to dry that off quickly. But with towels, especially when it's rainy, you cannot have enough towels in your bag. Right now, even when it's not rainy, I probably carry 4 towels in my bag. I usually have one to clean off all the mud or anything that gets on the towel. I have another one to just kind of give it a, the final wipe where it's just getting the residue of the water. And then I have one specifically for my putters that doesn't touch any other discs other than my putters. And so if you are playing in rain, you need a minimum of those. And I would recommend, and this is a tip for a tournament especially, put your towels in Ziploc bags so that while you're playing, as your bag starts to get wet, say you don't have a rain fly, say you don't have an umbrella, always bring an umbrella. But say you don't, as your bag gets wet, as your discs get wet, you'll still be able to pull out a dry towel. And so I usually try to bring a dry towel for every 3 holes if I know it's going to rain. So just a little rain game quick tip.
I also bring somebody to carry my bag.
I mean, that's nice.
And an umbrella.
Also nice.
Yeah, which is
I think
really
it's
nice.
cool how I see. I think it was at Pro Worlds, or maybe it was Vibrant. But anyway, where some of the guys had towels And then if you looked underneath the towels, that's where
under the
had
umbrellas.
Yeah. And underneath
that
the
was
umbrellas were
vibrant
the
for
towels.
sure.
Yeah,
were hanging. That was interesting.
Yeah, I usually, if I am carrying an umbrella, I will clip a towel underneath, and
I'll clip a bunch of them up under there.
Yeah, except for if they've been in my bag for a while and they smell bad. And they're in your face.
That's the best.
I don't like that.
That's the best.
All right, good tip. Thank you so much, Robert. If you want more tips from Robert, you can go to dynamicdisc.com and select the blog section and find there's actually keywords where you can click on McCall, and it'll show you all the tips that he's written for the blog. So good stuff, Robert. Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Yep. Next question comes from Boo.
Boo.
What check the volume on Boo. Never know what he's going to do.
All right, guys, so let's talk about the USDGC. You may need the disclaimer for this one because I'm looking for your opinion.
Haven't used it in a while.
We have not used it in a while, so we will now play the disclaimer. Except it doesn't have Robert's name on there. So just say it right now.
The opinions expressed on Disc Golf Answer Man are solely those of Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, Eric McCabe, and Robert McCall. Any opinions expressed on this show do not reflect the opinions of Dynamic Discs or its other employees.
Or Latitude 64.
Or Latitude 64.
Or
Westside Discs.
Or
Eric McCabe.
Okay, now we're good. Got my name in there twice.
All right, yeah. All right, so that's
that's
little
that was close enough, right?
Pretty close.
I'll play it just in case because it's pretty cool.
It's close.
The views and opinions expressed on the Disc Golf Answer Man are solely of Eric E. Mac McCabe and Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze. These views and opinions do not necessarily represent those of the staff at Dynamic Disc, Latitude 64, or Westside Disc, and or any contributors.
So
better.
Here's what's interesting is that his email address that he plugged into the questions form. I know my opinion isn't important at usdgc.org.
Uh-oh.
.org.
Yeah. All right, let's see what he's got.
.gov.
We got multiple triple Mandos, 6 or 7 elevated baskets on an 18-hole course, rope everywhere, all kinds of varying rules. Got hazards in the woods. They got drop zones that are make you throw directly past a big chunk of metal from the baseball stadium. Wooden pillars with plastic flowers wrapped around them within 10 feet of a basket. Poor live scoring that updated extremely slowly. No live coverage other than Avery Jenkins wandering around with a cell phone where you can't see a disc fly to save your life. It's supposed to be our most prestigious event, and I just have a lot of trouble feeling like it is with so many other great events out there. The whole thing just doesn't do it for me, And then we get basically Jomez coverage, but they take away all their graphics, don't let them promote their own brand whatsoever, and put commercials after every single hole. The whole thing just has a really weird vibe to me these days, and I'm wondering what you guys think. It's just kind of disappointing. It's supposed to be our most prestigious event. I just don't feel like it is. They want it to be like the Masters of disc golf on the same course every year, but they tinker with it so much that there's no consistency. So what do you guys think about this? I'll check you later. Cheers.
What do you think they would do if they put a post, like 5 posts right around a hole at the Masters? like
Augusta National?
Yeah,
Masters?
like at Augusta National, and actually put like 5 posts in there, like 3 inches from the hole because they're about 3 feet.
That's right. They'd probably get upset.
I mean, likely. Now, they wouldn't be poles. They'd be like little straws.
Oh,
right?
That's true.
Okay.
Sensitive subject.
It is because here's the thing about tournaments and courses in general is everybody has their own opinion. I feel differently about courses than Eric, than Bobby, than whomever. Although most of the time we're pretty much in line with one another, but there are some aspects of design that he'll like more than I will, and vice versa. I don't mind having a few elevated baskets. I think I think more than 2 or 3 is excessive to me. But I don't design courses. That's just, and I don't have any reason behind that other than I like having a standard height because I feel like it makes our sport seem more professional and official. It takes away some of the miniature golf sort of feel to it where it's all different shapes and sizes and everything like that. Okay. So that's for me with elevated baskets. I do think the drop zone on a hole was at 9. I think that was poorly placed. I mean, just to have to throw between that or a big forehand or something around it. That seems poorly placed to me. That's me. As far as the Mandos go, I didn't think there was an excess of those to where I felt really bad about it. Although that hole was already difficult enough.
2 of them?
Yeah,
two triple Mandos, is that right?
Mm-hmm. The one that I'm thinking of is the ladder, 14, 15. That hole's already difficult enough in my opinion. I think I would have left it alone, but that's me. I will say earlier.
It was already a double Mando.
Oh, was it?
But I think people were throwing thumbers.
Oh, I see.
And so they're like, well, let's take that away.
I see. I don't know. I was disappointed with the lack of live coverage as well. As we said earlier, I know that Disc Golf World Tour has decided what they're going to do with media along with Spin TV, and that's their choice. I think the post-produced content that they put out is very well done, but I miss having live coverage as well. I wish that we had it there.
Yeah.
I don't know. When you say, and I heard it referenced some this weekend, that this is our sport's most prestigious event, and that could very well be true if you're there, but when we don't have live coverage and when you don't get to experience that atmosphere, it feels different than that to me. Because for me, I think it's a toss-up between Worlds and USDGC, which players would rather win. I think the players who have won Worlds would say, I would rather win Worlds.
I'd rather win Worlds.
See?
Actually, I said that
Case
before.
in point.
Before I had won Worlds, I said, out of the two, I would rather be the world champion than the U.S. champion.
Yeah, and I think that's the side I would fall on too, but I mean, that's just like dream.
Just title-wise.
That's
just as a
dreaming
title.
Anyway.
That's just a title.
Yep. So, anyway, I don't know. I understand some of your frustration. I share some of it, but I also know how difficult it is to run an event well, just from the little bit that I've been involved in Glassblown over the past few years. I know that it's extremely difficult to run an event that makes everybody happy, that meets everyone's standards.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's really tough to do. And so I'm usually on the side of I'm going to give a lot of grace before I really speak out and say this was really terrible. And if I am going to do that, I'm only going to address the tournament director with things like that. You know, that are obvious criticisms, not harshly worded or anything, but this is something I think you could do to improve. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, it's tough because for me personally, if it is in fact, and it did used to be at one time, used to be the event that everybody would go to. I mean, it used to be the biggest payday. I mean, people used to be taking home 10, 12 grand for that.
And it was a more limited field for a little while, correct?
For a while. I mean, it used to be like 180 players or whatever it was because they had state coordinators that would get a spot to give away.
Yeah.
Somebody
Okay. I forgot about that.
So there were so many players in the field, and I think I really enjoyed it back then. And granted, I was touring and I played all these other events, and so many different events have evolved now into, more professional, money courses and all that. And I think you nailed it with the reason it doesn't feel as prestigious to us now is because when you're sitting at home, you're not there. You don't feel the atmosphere. You don't hear the guy on hole one announcing your name and where you're from. And I mean, to this day, if I would have been at USDGC this year, to this day when they're announcing my name, that would be the only event where, I get butterflies on hole one.
Totally.
That's it. And I think a lot of that has to do because it's a major. But to me, I've always disagreed with if it is our most prestigious event, then why are we testing out silly rules on this course at this event? For instance, bunker rule.
Yep.
It's very bizarre. And if anybody's out there spectating the event that doesn't understand disc golf or never heard of disc golf, that's going to confuse them even more to see all these artificial OBs and like on hole 3, if somebody follows left of the OB line, but they putt from there, but this guy landed next to the line and he took his meter. It's just kind of confusing for spectators that aren't familiar with disc golf. And even if you're familiar with disc golf, some of the rules are like, what are they doing this year? I mean, so that I applaud their vision of thinking outside of the box for the event and making it a challenging course every year, because that's all they're trying to do is make it a challenging course. But I think they get out of hand a little bit here and there. And I've honestly never been a huge fan of artificial OB.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of stinks because, I mean, that's where Innova's located. So, I mean, it makes perfect sense for them to host the event there. They've done it for so many years. What was this, the 14th, 19th?
I don't remember. It's a lot.
Something like that. I know next year's either the 15th or the 20th. I can't remember which, but I just personally think the USDGC it's not what it used to be in my eyes, personally. It used to be back in the day, if I qualified, I was stoked. I'm like, yeah,
going,
cool,
yeah.
let's go. I'll pay right now. Now it's like, if I qualify, it's like, do I want to go? Do I want to go? And a lot of that is just me as a player now. I've kind of transitioned from a player. But, I mean, yeah, I agree with most of your comments there, Boo. But at the same time, I can see their vision and their side of things as well on why their plans are, what they're planning on doing in the future, and it's really tough to say. It's really tough to say.
At the end of the day, whether you agree or disagree with what they're doing, I think all of us have the same goal in mind, which is to grow disc golf. And I heard UC presented the World Tour points championship to Ricky, and he and Paul actually tied. And while he was talking about that, he said, he said something along the lines of whether you agree or disagree with the changes that we made or anything like that, the reason that we're here is to grow disc golf and to make disc golf more popular worldwide. And that's something that we can all agree on. And so whether you agree or disagree with our methods, I like that we're all focusing on heading that direction.
Yep. I would 100% agree with that.
Yep.
And the thing is that that's UC's vision. That's what he wants to do. That's the way he sees the direction. Other people choose something a little different. We all have the same goal in mind, but don't hang your hat on USDGC. In other words, don't get so. If you're watching, yeah, I wish they had live coverage. I wish they would do some things differently on the courses and stuff like that. But I'm not going to hang my hat on USDGC as being the only, albeit make or break disc golf.
Sure.
I'm not going to get so upset at
or just any event.
Well, yeah, any
one
event.
likely won't be the thing that makes this.
I'm not going to look at it and go, "Oh my God, it's the most prestigious." Whatever, you're screwing it up, you're messing. No, it's just choices they've made. Now it'll play out in the end whether those are good choices or bad choices, but it's just a choice they made. So,
well, I think the prestigious side of things came from the players, because 10 years ago, it used to be the event that
no
you
doubt
qualify for. And I mean, it was like end of the year. They did the end of the year NT points and awards right there at USDGC at the end.
Yeah.
It was like the last big, at the end of USDGC, most players are like, all right, finally, I'm done. I can relax for the rest of the year. I mean, I never did. I always went to Texas and played like 4 more 8 years.
Yeah, right.
But it's...
So there's a lot of things other than what Disc Golf World Tour has done that has made it move away from being
and maybe it's just different,
right?
Yeah.
I'm not blaming Disc Golf World Tour.
No, yeah, I'm just saying that a lot of people are pointing their finger at UC.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's a lot of things that have nothing to do with what he's doing that have made it not be as prestigious as it once was.
Yeah.
Well, and that happens.
I don't even think that UC made. He doesn't make the course decisions. I think that's somebody else.
That I don't know.
That's Harold Duvall. I know has always been the course designer and the one that went out and did.
That's true.
A lot of the changes, but I think this year he even made mention that his son was taking over some of that.
Okay,
so there could be another Duvall out there. Robert
David?
Duvall.
Robert Duvall?
David Duvall.
Could be.
Probably neither one of those.
Probably not.
All right.
But
all right, let's move on. We've got time for a couple more questions. Let's see from Rick.
Gentlemen, how you doing this week? This is Rick from Orangevale, California, land of the infernal 2-meter rule. And that brings me to my first question of the day. As you can see, I'm not happy about the 2-meter rule. I would call it one of my disc golf pet peeves. We have another kind of custom out here in Northern California that is also a pet peeve, and that would be that everything has to be a par 3. They just don't seem to understand that there can be more than just par 3s on a disc golf course. I've played in many parts of the country that have wonderful par 4s and 5s, and it just adds to the variety of the game. So it is a tremendous pet peeve when I hear people say, oh, it doesn't matter. Par is just a number. Doesn't matter that it's a 750-foot double dogleg hole with a tight window gap. It's a par 3. So anyway, those are two of my pet peeves, the 2-meter rule, everything's par 3s. So my first question for you guys today is, what are your disc golf pet peeves? And I will call in my second question separately because there's no way I can keep it all under 90 seconds. But I do want to add this. Put it on the Facebook page a while back and really would love to see you guys do this because I just got a new puppy. But we need to have keeping with the criminal justice motif, a dog disc called the Canine Unit. And it could be Ralph McCabe's signature Canine Unit. Just an idea, but I think it'd be awesome.
I like it.
Bye.
I like it. Although the decision makers now are dog lovers here at DD, so that's Ralph's probably further down the totem pole.
He used to be really the decision maker.
He was. Now
Yeah.
you've got Starlin, you've got Sebastian, you got Walter. I mean, there's just
Walter's at the bottom. He's still so young.
He is.
He's so full of life.
He's still way down there.
Yeah.
Way.
He's got a lot of growing up to do.
It's unfortunate that you own him. So.
What was that?
I'm sorry.
Pardon me. What?
So one of my pet peeves about disc golf is when people call into podcasts and complain about
and ask about what their pet peeve is.
No. I don't know that I have a real pet peeve.
I guarantee you I have one. I just got to think of it. What about you? Do you have one off the top of your head?
I don't like the 2 meter rule either.
I don't either.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
It's not a make or break for me. It's not.
And maybe it would be if you lived in California.
Right. Well, we would have it in Texas occasionally, and if I go be with a 2 meter rule, I'm pissed. Don't get me wrong.
Give the elevator pitch of what 2 meter rule, just in case.
Okay. If your disc comes to rest higher than 2 meters above the ground, it's considered out of bounds. So whether that's in a tree or on a roof or wherever it is, it's considered out of bounds. So if I'm stuck in a tree 10 feet above the ground, I mark my lie underneath my disc, and if I threw my tee shot into the tree, now I'm throwing 3 instead of throwing 2.
And that's not a rule that has to be in place.
It's like
no, it's
actually
it's
not
an optional
in
rule.
place. Yeah,
you can enforce it if you
optional,
choose to. You do not have to.
Typically, they only do it in California.
Yeah,
or the West Coast.
Why is that typically?
I think a lot of it is because it's just a lot of the courses out there are pretty old school.
That's an old school rule.
It's an old school rule that they just want to live and die by. And a lot of the courses are actually designed where, okay, the shot is throw it up over the top of all these trees, crash that big pine, and let it tumble down.
Really?
So, I mean, you hit that tree, you stuck up there, you're either getting a 2 or a 3 if it comes all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a lot to do with it. I think
it's just lucky whether or not it sticks. That's what's frustrating about it.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, it's a good point. I don't know if it's a pet peeve.
I just don't like it.
Yeah, I don't really care for
but
it.
yeah, it's not a pet peeve for me. I'd say my pet peeve is when people complain about every shot.
And it's a good shot.
Yeah, whether it's a good shot or not.
Mm-hmm.
But it's especially frustrating when, say, you've thrown a 300 feet straight down the middle, splitting the trees, right? And it gets one late kick off a tree that sends you to maybe 20 feet when it looks like you're going to be parked. And you're like, I cannot believe my luck today.
I cannot buy a break.
I can't buy a break. You're 20 feet away. You are a professional. Just make it.
Yeah.
Make it. Or even if you're not a professional, who cares?
Make it anyway.
Yes. That's literally never stopped me from making any putts thinking, hey, I'm not, well, I don't know. I play in the open division, but I'm certainly not like a touring professional. I don't know, man. That one wears me pretty
Obviously
thin.
it does, man.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
All right.
Or here's another
Now
good one.
I know how to get in his head next time we're playing against each other. I'm just going to complain about everything.
Yeah. Here's another good one.
All right.
Is if somebody throws a bad shot and gets an unlucky break, and they're, oh my, I am so unlucky today.
Yeah.
You threw a bad shot.
Yeah. Like if you shank it way right,
yeah,
hits a tree and
then
kicks further right.
Yeah. Where was that going to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that one very much either. For me, and I know some people, I've heard Feldberg talk about this before, when he gets bad breaks or any sort of break or messes up at all, he blames it on the course.
Yeah.
Just so for his mentality, he can think, I'm playing well. That's
the course's fault.
Yeah, exactly. And if that's
or
your
the
thing,
basket's fault.
Yeah, if that's your thing, that's cool. But for me, I take ownership of when I make a mistake because it makes me feel like, man, I threw a bad shot. I deserve to get a bad kick. I don't know. What else? You guys have any?
I don't know, but you seem to have a lot of them. So
I didn't think about them until just now.
I know,
but when they happen out there, I don't really like slow play. I'll put that one out there.
Go ahead, Robert.
When people are exceptionally slow, don't like it.
What about exceptionally fast?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
That's actually kind of entertaining. It's like they don't even think, which is beneficial for some people.
It can be.
All right. Anything, Eric?
Just when people don't have EMAC truths in their bag.
Yeah.
Other than that.
What mid-range are you even throwing?
Come on.
All right, let's listen to Rick's second question. This will be our last question. If I can ever get anything right.
You can, man.
Hey, gentlemen. Rick from Orangevale again with question number 2.
Oh, what up, Rick?
This one's kind of largely geared towards EMAC because it's a course design-related question, but feel free, gentlemen, to chime in with your thoughts about, courses. But wanted to find out, first off, if there's a place where EMAC has listed the courses he's designed countrywide. I couldn't find anything like that on the website. Maybe I just missed it, but would love to be able to play some of your courses. Secondly, have you done anything on the West Coast, specifically California, that would be close to home? But my main question for you, EMAC, is do you have like a signature design element when you design a course?
2-meter rules everywhere.
Whatever.
I think of Pete Dye, and he's got the deep bunkers and the small greens. He does the challenging par 4s that give you kind of a risk reward, or he uses railroad ties to lift things up. Alistair McKenzie has the really undulating, kind of the old school St. Andrews type greens, long narrow greens. He likes to do the big freeform bunkers, or did, I should say. So do you have a signature design element when you design courses? And Bobby, do you have a signature feature that you do in video production that kind of makes it uniquely a Cool Daddy Slick Breeze video?
Go first.
And Robert,
the watermark.
Do you have a signature? Well, I guess, do you have a signature?
No, he does not.
Barely. It's not a good one.
You've been
They
working
had to
on
change it like 3 times.
Well, yeah, because you just write Bobby, okay? So you're
I'm
not.
sorry.
You are not
Robert
in a place.
Writes his first name, middle name, last name, social security number, PDGA number.
By the way, please don't find any of my discs because then you could steal my identity.
Right.
But you just write Bobby.
Bobby used to write Cool Daddy Slick Breeze.
And
you
it
know
was
how
2
long
months.
that took?
Yeah, exactly.
Forever.
He's still doing it.
So yes, I have a signature. No, it's not good. Thank you for asking.
So one of the things I've noticed about Eric's course design is that he likes to put trees all along the tee pad.
Just
on either
border
side,
the tee pad.
one on the
trees.
back,
both sides.
The back 9 he puts 2 of them in the back.
I like it to be difficult to even get onto the tee
Right,
pad.
That's right.
You have to take a machete. And
Yes.
No, just kidding.
I don't necessarily think that I have a particular element that I include on all of my courses. One thing I do like to keep in mind when I'm doing a course design is I like to keep it fair for pretty much all players. I don't like to hear about, a course is super righty dominant or super lefty dominant. So if the property allows it, I would love to have 6 holes of that are maybe righty friendly, 6 holes that are more lefty friendly, and then a bunch of straight shots. And if the property allows that, obviously, and not in a row. Not like, oh yeah, let's do 6 righty hyzers.
And now we're to the
and now we're
straight
on the
shot
lefty
portion
side.
of the course. Yeah.
But no, I don't necessarily think that there's a particular, and maybe it's because I haven't designed hundreds of courses too. Maybe when I get to that level, I'll have my own type of signature that I like to put in on every course. But as far as a list of the courses I've designed, I know a lot of the ones that I have worked on or designed are on what's the website, Bobby?
DynamicCourseDesign.com
is the website. You can go there and kind of check out a lot of the courses. And I know at some point we do plan on kind of putting together like a little portfolio where you can actually go and look at what courses I have designed if you want to go play them. And as far as California goes, I've been working with a city in California for about 6 months now, trying to get the ball rolling there. And I can't say exactly the name of the city.
Like you can't pronounce it?
No, I can. Oh. I just shouldn't.
Oh, okay.
But I'll give you a hint.
Gotcha.
They say this city in a rap song from back in the day. That's all I can say, though. It's not Compton. It is not Compton.
Beverly Hills?
No.
It's Beverly Hills.
Beverly Hills is
Beverly Hills is looking for a championship disc golf course.
Yep, they are.
That's fantastic.
So, but you've played a handful of my courses, I would say.
I was just trying to think through that.
Can you think of anything that's like, wow, this is an Eric McCabe course?
Not
really. Because you leave it defeated because you.
Yeah. I go, and all the holes are like, Robert, you automatically take an 8 on this hole.
Yeah.
It's probably better
every time that's OB.
Yeah, that's right. Every shot you throw is OB. I don't think a signature element that
San Francisco.
No.
Are you just going to start naming all the cities in California?
I'm not allowed to say, so if you
Paradise
do
City?
happen to say it, I'm probably not going to say, oh, yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah,
What'd
that's
you say?
it. Sacktown, no. But that is where this guy is calling from, Orangevale.
So I don't think you have like a distinct one. I do remember thinking that the courses are fair to righties and lefties. I remember that.
Yeah.
What about videos, Bobby? What's your signature thing? I can name what it is for.
What it used to be.
What did it used to be?
Data Rock.
No.
I was going to say for our disc golf adventure videos, the music in all the disc golf adventure videos has a very certain genre, and I really like it.
Yeah. Some people call it chill hop.
Yeah.
Some people call it head bop, but it's kind of like a
They call it head bop.
head bop because you can bop your head to it.
I know you're bobbing your head because I can see you.
Yeah, because one of the things I really like to do when I do those particular types of videos is I like to put the cuts and the edits on the beat. I don't know why it can. You can really control the tempo and the tone of the video. One thing that I don't like when I see people do is they just put music on their video just for the sake of putting
Just to
music.
have music, yeah.
Yeah, I do that.
Huh?
I do that all the time.
So
sorry about you.
It's
and then YouTube yells at me because it's usually a licensed
song. I've seen some videos where they're like doing an opening for like a new iPhone and it's got like techno, and you're like, that has nothing to do with the tone or whatever you're doing. It's so all you're doing is doing it because you've seen other people do it and it's just driving me nuts. And so if you watch any of my videos, I try to. Now I do have videos that just have music, but they'll have a nice music bed to it, just so that if I ever feel like someone's talking too much, I'll put a music bed because it kind of helps the tempo and the timing of the video. But a lot of times you'll see that I use music and edits to help tell the story.
Yeah.
So a lot of times if someone says something and they're going to say something funny or poignant, the music will end. You'll hear the point, and then the music will start again because I'm using the music to help tell the story.
Right. And it makes a huge difference what type of music you choose. A huge difference.
There's sometimes I take 30 minutes just to find a song for a video.
Well, it was funny because I knew that, but I hadn't thought about it a whole lot until we made my Workplace Wednesday video. And it was just me standing in front of this. What is this? Backdrop?
Yep.
I almost said banner. That was incorrect. Yeah, no. Backdrop. And Anthony was asking me questions, and I was just talking about what I do here. And then the song that he put behind it was kind of like an acoustic-ish sounding song. And it sounded either like I was going on like a mission trip,
right,
or I had recently died.
Right.
Like that. That's what the music would lead you to believe based on that video. So it really needs to match the mood that you're... Because music really sets the mood. Darn it!
Mood.
Yeah.
Music really sets the mood.
They say audio is half.
But my videos,
telling the story,
to be fair, are just me throwing discs, playing
for
disc golf.
funsies.
It's not like I'm talking. I don't have any interaction on the majority of my stuff. So it's just I find a song that I like and
in your face, Bobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You yell at me when I putt sometimes.
I do yell at you a lot.
That's true.
On the course, I yell at Bobby. I used to yell at him a lot more.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, this episode is finally over. We've had so many technical difficulties that you guys have no idea what's going on.
We've been here for 2 weeks.
We're back from the Piney Woods Open.
I smell awful.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate it, and we see it. Well, no, there was one thing I wanted to. Dadgummit, had it at the tip of my tongue. Want to make sure. Oh, I want to make sure you guys know about. It would be awesome. It's not. We don't make any extra money or off of it or anything, but we've got some Disc Golf Answer Man discs that are stamped with Disc Golf Answer Man, and I would really love. What the Disc Golf Answer Man disc or stamped with Disc Golf Answer Man.
They're stamped with something other than that.
No. If you go to dynamicdisc.com and then go to store and then look under the Disc Golf Answer Man section, you will see a selection from the VIP Queen, the Zero Medium Mercy, the Moonshine Ballista, the VIP Air King, the Gladiator, VIP Destiny, a Claymore, and a Medium Shield, and then, of course, any selection from Dymax. go out there, and if you're looking for any of these molds, please go out there and purchase the Disc Golf Answer Man stamp. It's just a really cool thing. Plus, I'd like to move these a little bit so we can get some newer molds out there. With the new stamp out there. Not the new one, but new molds with the Disc Golf Answer Man stamp on there. So thank you guys for doing that. Another thing, thank you guys for rating and reviewing our show out on iTunes. I know it seems like a minor thing, but it really does help our show show up in people's selection.
5 stars.
5 stars would be awesome. In fact, let's go look to see if anybody's rated us lately.
5 stars. Right?
It's like the least subliminal advertising ever.
5 stars.
Yeah. Just 5 stars would be amazing.
We'd appreciate it.
5 stars.
Disc Golf Answer Man. We have 149 ratings and reviews.
All right.
Let's look at the most recent one.
It's going to be 1 star.
Disc Golf In Depth. Fantastic addition to disc golf, filling my need to keep in touch with disc golf wherever I go. That's from HA17. Jamie G says, I can't add much to what has already been said in other reviews, only that I enjoy this podcast for many of the reasons already stated.
Awesome.
Gunnar Micah says, Bobby, Eric, and Robert are the best in the disc golf podcasting business. Their insight and honesty are top-notch. The 3 of them are very different, which makes for a very balanced pod. All are entertaining and full of disc golf knowledge that is good for the experienced player and the beginner alike. One more is from Aroke. Aroke on Pollo. Aroke 1021. We love DJM for long trips, which we take often. Witty banter and great information on disc golf. Love you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Guess who's that from?
Who's that from?
Eric Oakley.
Oh.
Eric, you're awesome.
You're so nice, Eric.
Thanks, Eric Oakley. So anyway, thanks again, guys, for those 5-star reviews. We really appreciate it. Just go to iTunes and rate and review us, and we'll be your best friends.
We will. It's true.
See you next week.
Bye.